Welcome to the Jayar Show podcast. I am Jayar. My guest today we know from American Idol, and we used to talk just nothing but about his hair. Today's guest, Colton Dixon. Since he cut his hair, I have to prep for other things now. Let's get into it. Today's guest on the Jayar Show podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Colton Dixon. How are you, sir?
I am so good. How are you?
As am I.
Okay.
Hey, it is, we had you in town, I don't know, was that a few months ago? You were doing a tour through Austin French.
Yes, Up and Up tour.
Up and Up tour, and I
Yes.
had so many friends go to it, and they said it was amazing.
Man, we had a blast. Austin, what a talented guy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Who? And Rosado.
Jeremy Rosado. He's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love Jeremy. Fun fact, actually. Jeremy and I were roommates together on American Idol. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, I
Ages
remember you
ago.
telling me that. And he's actually one of our listeners. He grew up listening to the Joy FM.
Yeah.
And he was on a singing competition that I did on the Joy FM. He didn't make our top 5.
Yeah, that checks out.
And then he went to The Voice and American Idol.
And that's when I see.
So our listeners are a little tougher than American Idol and The Voice is what I took away from all that.
You know, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I bet you channel a mean Simon Cowell. Yeah.
Yeah. Who likes donuts? Yeah. Here's what we're going. The questions I'm going to be asking you today, Colton, are actually in that golden tube of mystery over there, and we're going to fire that up. And it has a GoPro in it so we can see you.
Okay.
And you're basically going to fish for your questions. You're going to grab your questions are written on the stuff that'll be flying.
Okay.
There's fake money in there. There's real money in there. There's Publix coupons. And just use your pockets.
Yeah.
Just stuff. Try to get as much as you can
Great.
for 30 seconds. And then we're going to come put your haul right here.
Look at that. Okay.
And we'll start taking on some of your questions.
I love this. I'm
All
so
right.
glad I did the kangaroo pouch today. It's going to come in handy.
It's like you knew.
It's like I knew.
Just in case they do a money grab thing, I'm going to wear something with pockets today.
Always be prepared. Moral of the story.
All right, let's hit question number 1. This is not going to be the way. Well, it's already not the way you thought today was going to go.
Yeah. I'm already disappointed in myself, but it's fine. We're fine.
Colton, if you spent a week in prison, what would be the hardest part for you? Knowing yourself, just the whole experience.
What a question. You're implying that I've not already spent a week in prison.
That's true.
I've not.
I'm being stereotypical that you're not that you haven't been to prison. Yes.
I'll be honest. Gosh, I have no idea.
What would be some of the tough parts for you? You know, you got cell time, you got yard time, you got cafeteria, you got solitude.
I think the mundane. It's why I didn't want a typical 9 to 5 when I grew up. It's like I have to be doing different things and have the freedom to do those things. So knowing that I had to be in one place and just the routine of it all sounds awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Sounds like prison.
Yeah. Sounds like prison. Yeah.
It is funny to think about. You don't think about artistic people going to prison much. Just the torture of what you just described. Because I'm the same as you. I need something to shake up the monotony and to be stuck like that would be torture for artistic types in prison.
Sure. That's also a very surface level answer.
Yeah.
Also the fact that my freedom has been taken away.
Can't see your kids.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in myself already for not getting real cash, but let's be real, I would be very disappointed in myself for landing in prison. Yeah.
Right. It was something that was a misunderstanding. We'll just say
Totally.
You're not in for hard stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Wrongly imprisoned.
Yeah. Would you be okay if you got a roommate, or is that even more torture?
I think it
A
depends.
cellmate. Sorry.
Let's be real. It depends on the cellmate.
Yeah.
You know? That's with anything.
Yeah.
Whether you're in college or you're out, you're doing a youth weekend or whatever. The roommate, cellmate will make or break the experience.
Oh, yeah. Because it could be your best friend. It could also be your biggest nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why getting married is an interesting.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
you're like, I'm going to date you for a long time because this could be a cellmate situation.
That's true.
Honey?
That's true. Take your time. Moral of the story.
Yeah, kids. get to know him.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Colton, I want to hit you with this question because you and I have a mutual friend in Jason Wade of Lifehouse.
Yes.
Which we all know from, because it's you and me.
All other people with nothing to do.
I grew up with the guy. Went on mission trips with him. Drove him everywhere before he got his license. You got a phone call from him when you were on American Idol because you did one of his songs in one of your final rounds. I was going to go, or I'm trying to, I went to go see him play in the Tampa Bay area recently when he was doing a show without his band. And I've lost contact. I mean, it's been 25 years. I lost contact with him. And so I messaged his mother saying, hey, Jason is in my neck of the woods. I'm going to go to the show. Can you let him know I'm in town so I can just, go say hi? And we bear hug and everything. And she's like, I don't get involved in his business. I don't know if there's a meet and greet where you can come say hi to Jason. I don't get involved. And I was like, And I wanted to ask you this because, somebody you went to middle school with in Murfreesboro is, I know Colton. I used to be in history class with him. We were good friends. He wrote in my yearbook.
Yep.
How do your parents kind of deal with all of that with people from your past?
If we're talking about currently, how do my parents deal with it versus how do they deal with it whenever I first started doing music? They're two polar opposite things. I love my parents. It sounds like Jason's mom has had to learn a hard lesson.
Yeah, a whoops-a-daisy.
A whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, especially there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone comes out of the woodwork. Not saying you're one of these people, but I'm sure there was a situation where Jason's like, Mom, quit letting people backstage or quit promising them this or whatever. That was the case. I mean, after American Idol was wild.
Yeah.
People reaching out to not just me or my sister, but my parents, some of my friends, and they're like, I don't really know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Are you cool with this? How do you want me to handle this? I appreciated that. My parents, a few times would overstep, and I'd show up backstage, and there would be, long lost friends or cousins or whatever. I'm like, hey, it's good to see you. This is my space.
Yeah.
I need 5 minutes before I sing.
I can just hear your mom. Of course, I'll give you his cell phone, sweetie. We've known you since you were 8.
That's exactly right.
But nobody's wrong in this because when I think about it, like Jason and I we were almost best friends for years. He moves to LA, lose contact, but there's a closeness between the two of us. I could walk up and say something to him that will make him laugh, cry. There's history. These people with you, your mom or dad are thinking, we know them. We trust them. We've known them for years. But things have changed.
Yes.
And so that's difficult on both ends because in their minds, my mom, when she runs into people and she tells them, oh, Jayar from the radio, she'll practically go, yeah, you can stop by his house, go say hi to him.
He never locks the front door. Yeah. Just step on in, say hi. Yeah.
But it's new. When you start becoming a public figure, it is new to the people around you.
Yep, that's right.
And there are hard lessons to learn.
There are hard lessons to learn. Boundaries are good.
Yeah.
Any walk of life, boundaries are good. But especially if you're in the spotlight at all, boundaries are real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go into. You are not a 21-year-old kid. Wait, when were you on American Idol? Were you in your 20s already?
I was 19, 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're still young, but let me be your father for a second. Talk me about the bit of aging that you are starting, because you're probably at the very beginning of going, oh, this is new. Have you experienced anything from an aging perspective? It's like, oh, this is happening now after.
Yeah, I'm 33, so old, use the term old lightly, but getting old is not fun. Yeah. Adulting is not fun.
Yep.
So it used to be more so on like the things required of an adult, like paying bills or sitting and having tough conversations, not just like, free willy on life.
Yeah.
But now, like I'll go and do, like we've been on Winter Jam and our set is like, 25 minutes, something like that. And it's it's easier to take on a set like that, even though it's high adrenaline the whole time. But then you go from that into an hour and a half set. My body doesn't keep up the way that it used to.
Huh.
My voice doesn't keep up the way that it used to. So I'm having to be super intentional about, warming up and warming down and just treating even my voice like, all right, I want to be able to do this when I'm Toby's age. I want to be able to do this as long as I can. So that's been really interesting.
Okay, so you are starting to feel, because when you're thinking you're 18, 19, you can do anything.
Oh yeah,
and
do
then the body's
anything.
Like, hello.
Even if you hurt yourself or whatever, you just know you will be back to yourself the next week.
Yeah.
And if you hurt yourself at 33, it might be more like 2 weeks to a month.
Colton, let me tell you what happens at 47.
Oh, hey, lay it on me.
It's so fun. I love it. These are my glasses here that I now have to carry around because my eyeballs, for the first time ever, I've always been able to look at something and see just how God intended it to look. And now I need a piece of equipment to see something up close. So outwardly we are wasting away, but inwardly we're being renewed day by day.
That's right. So, that's good. That'll preach, Pastor.
Nice
I like
little
it.
spiritual twist. Talk to me about you. Are you becoming an author, Colt? Yeah. What's up with the kid book?
Yeah. So I'm going to preface this by saying I had a lot of help from my friends. But man, my wife and I have 4-year-old twins, 2 girls, and we've been trying to be the best example that we know to be of who Jesus was and is. But there have been some, not like speed bumps, but just like, how do you explain certain things to a 4-year-old? And so faith was one of those things that I just kind of wrestled with, and just like, what is the best approach for a 4-year-old to understand like what it looks like to have faith? The song "Build a Boat" was inspired by the faith that Noah had. As an adult, looking back at that story, just realizing that is the highlight of the story. It's not the visuals, which I thought it was as a kid. It's the faith that Noah had and the obedience he had. So how do you explain that to a kid? So it kind of set us off on this journey of doing a children's book. Yeah. Follows a set of girl twins. A little on the nose, I know, but follow along. But they're having to believe for something and act out in faith before the miracle ever happened. Right. And it can be something as simple as believing for a dog, So it's a really fun, cute story, but it's about 2 young women who are up against people saying that, things will never happen the way that they think they will, and having to prepare like a miracle's on its way. Yeah. So really excited for that book. It's called "Build a Boat," and cool. We've been pushing it all winter jam long. So we're real excited. Yeah.
Awesome. So what did you do in it? The ideas, the writing, the illustration?
Yeah. So we had a ghostwriter, and then we actually had some help on the illustration side as well. Okay. So I basically was overseeing the project, had the idea for characters, storyline. Gotcha. But like I said, had a ton of help. I've never written a book before in my life, and especially a children's book. It's such a specific thing. Yeah. Wouldn't know where to begin. Yeah. So had a lot of help, and they just absolutely slayed it, brought my vision to life. And
people can find it now?
Yes.
Okay.
For the book, just go to coltondixon.com.
Okay.
Should be there.
Perfect. Let's hit one more of your questions you pulled from our golden tube of mystery there. Let's take, just with the skills that you have right now, Colton. You're a vocalist. You're artistic.
You're really struggling on these here.
Let me think of all the compliments I can give you right now. No, let's say like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Like, let's say you went back to the 1850s for 1 week. How do you think you'd do?
Not well.
Okay.
Not well. I rely way too much on gadgets and doodads. To get me from point A to point B. I will rely on my phone to get me home today, even though I took that route already once. You didn't leave a trail of breadcrumbs? No. Okay. Fun, quick story. When I was learning how to drive, my dad also wanted to teach us like street smarts and like just how to navigate, knowing north, south, east, west, just all these things. So he would drive us out into this random location, and he would say, "Okay, now drive us home."
Ooh,
and
sounds like abandonment.
It was
a little.
I don't know that I've ever been so stressed in my entire life. First of all, but it never worked.
Okay.
I never could get home, and then I was so thankful when Garmin became a regular thing, and then Google, Apple Maps, all those things.
Was he expecting you to memorize certain things you passed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Landmark. I don't know what the thought behind it was. But he failed. I'm so sorry,
Okay.
Dad. Sorry to let you down like that. But yeah. So I don't think I would do very well in the 1850s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what their hair gel situation looked like back then either.
That's true. You might be wearing some like hat. It was the big hat era.
That's true.
10-gallon hat. I can picture you in a 10-gallon.
100%.
How would you do in a duel? Like would you be like
You
take
know,
off?
I don't know that I would survive 1 hour in the 1850s. That's about as real as it gets.
I'm probably the same. I didn't put a time frame on it yet, but I knew I wouldn't make it the full 24 hours. But
nah.
you're like, I'm dead in about an hour.
Yeah, I'm dead. It's Wild West out there.
I probably was talking trash or trying to say, anybody got a phone?
Yeah.
A what?
Yeah.
Let's get this guy.
Yeah. Especially if I showed up looking like this, they would think I was an alien.
Yeah.
100%.
This guy is kind of like, what's it called, where you send a scout out before you try to conquer something. Like, this guy's not one of us.
Yes.
There's a decent chance I'm being tarred and feathered. Like, there's a mob around me by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have skills to do anything either.
Me neither.
Mm.
I sing for a living. That's about it.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Talk to me. Let's kind of end on a note of some meat here. Not a song you've already written, but just something, let's just say, over the past 6 months that has been, you can tell, when those moments where you can tell God is going here, and it just starts brewing something in your personal life, not for the public, anything like that, but something that you've already been learning over the past 6 months. You're like, oh man, I'm at the point where I could probably write a song about this because of where God has kind of started tapping on maybe a part of you or something spiritually. It's in that raw phase.
Sure. Man, being a dad, I feel like there's always an opportunity if you've got your eyes open for God to teach you something new, whether that's through your kids or your spouse or whatever. But man, something that I'm really thankful for, a song that we haven't finished, put it that way, but something that we are excited about is just knowing that we are imperfect people. Romans 3:23 says we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, but his power is made perfect in our weakness at the same time. So just knowing that I'm going to make mistakes, but my prayer is that people still find Jesus in spite of those things. That's been a big thing that I've not rested in or used as an excuse to do whatever, but it's given me peace in knowing that I'm not defined by past mistakes, but I'm defined as a child of God, and that my goal is that people, like I said, they continue to see Jesus and feel Him at our shows and all of those things, in spite of whatever it is that I've done.
Yeah. You're wrapping up your second run at Winter Jam? Is this your second time?
This is my fourth time.
Oh wow!
But then we did a West Coast run, and then we did a weekend in 2021. Okay, but we don't really count that one. There were 2 weekends on that Winter Jam total, so 4.5 times. Yeah, at Winter Jam.
Okay, so obviously is it different than like you just finished the Up and Up tour where it's? Can you just tell people about the difference between being one of many artists on Winter Jam, just big arenas and everything, compared to doing hey, here's me on the road? What's the difference?
I'll give you 2 answers. Yeah. One is a business answer, and the other one is a just how it feels, more personal answer. The business side is your per head in merch goes way down at Winter Jam.
So many great shirts.
So many great shirts. Yeah, man, you got Skillet, KB, and Wilson. Yeah. But a lot more people at Winter Jam. Honestly,
good exposure.
Yeah, like I love Winter Jam. I wouldn't have done it 4 times if I didn't love it. Grew up going to Winter Jam.
Back when it was $10.
Back when it was $10. That's right. All you old people know. Yeah.
That's such a funny line.
But I love the sense of camaraderie and unity that Winter Jam brings. They're artists from all different walks, sounds, lifestyles even.
Yeah.
But we all gather around this idea that Jesus is king, and we're going to sing and preach about it all night long.
It is kind of a cool theory, because I remember one Winter Jam, I remember seeing these guys that were into like Red, the band Red. Yeah. And it's like screaming, it's hard. Heavy, and it was like they waited all night for their genre, and it hit, and they loved it, but they had to sit through other genres they didn't like.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like there's going to be, some genres that are represented that it's just not your thing. Mm-hmm. What I love, especially about this year, every single act is incredible. Micah Tyler starts the show with a bang. It's just hit after hit after hit after hit. Yeah. It's just so good. But KB does like his Christian hip hop thing, and Ann Wilson's holding down the country side, and we bring the pop element. We throw in we get a little heavy too, actually. Yeah. But then Skillet comes, and it's just they literally blow the arena up. Yeah. So it's as they do. Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun, and there's something for everyone. But you're right, it brings a lot of different types of people together on the fan side as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we'll let everybody know when the new book comes out for the children's to go pick up. But to always enjoy seeing you, my friend.
And likewise. Thanks for having me.
Big thank you to Colton Dixon for taking time. Always one of my favorite chats. Just a heads up, my next episode, we're going to introduce you to a newer artist called Bodhi. So hit subscribe. You'll be alerted when that's out. You can follow us on Instagram, and we love it when you let others know where they can find these chats. And one more time, don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.